Phoenix counted himself lucky he remained sane, and his animal side turned out to be recognizable. When they'd escaped, they'd discovered there were literal monsters in the general's literal basement. Phoenix would never forget the murderous being with wings that had emerged from the rubble and torn off someone's head before taking flight into the night sky. Despite the difficulty in escaping, Phoenix and the other captives survived, making them the lucky ones. Kind of. While some chose to vanish and deal with their new reality, Phoenix wanted answers, such as, could the shift be controlled? Because thus far, it only occurred when he went through bodily trauma. Did anything exist that would make his tiger go away permanently? Was it contagious? He'd hate to sleep with someone and cause them harm. While he always practiced safe sex, he knew the women who'd escaped worried about pregnancy and what it would do to a baby. According to the internet, werecats could be found on almost all the continents, with tigers specifically mentioned as being present in Asia and India. So, why had he zoned in on Malaysia specifically? Because of a video that he stumbled on by accident. The short clip, meant to showcase two young girls displaying their dance moves in a park, ended up going viral because of what happened in the background. A lone man walking by on the sidewalk was struck by a speeding motorcycle. The fellow got hit hard enough he flew into the air, flipped, and landed on his head. Folks ran to check on him, including the person holding the phone recording. It led to some shaky footage that showed people suddenly scattering from the body on the ground. Only there was no body, just a tiger. A tiger that looked right at the camera before lunging for it. Viewers, of course, claimed it was a hoax, but Phoenix knew better. The man was a Therianthrope, and Phoenix needed to find him. Hence why he paid a guy to smuggle him aboard a freighter. Why he'd been pissing in a bucket if he couldn't hold it until his nightly jaunts. Why he'd been filching food from the galley. As to how he'd find the fellow? No idea. But once in Malaysia, hopefully he'd be able to track the guy in the video. After all, it turned out Therianthropes couldn't entirely hide their scent, even when in human shape. Phoenix had smelled his companions often and cataloged the differences for future reference. If he ran across another feline, he'd know. The day before the freighter was due to dock, a storm hit, one big enough to make the container ship rock. Left, right, left. Up until this point, Phoenix had done fairly well keeping nausea at bay. That ended once the ocean started seriously rolling. He sat with his head between his knees, doing his best to take measured and controlled breaths, hoping to settle his belly. And failed. Blah.